What is going on, FA Nation? John and Pemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook live show. It's Friday. We've made it here, Grande. End of the week. Got a 14-game DraftKings main slate on tap. Sparing no expense is DraftKings here. 14 games. We won't do the math live on the show because that was an absolute disaster last night. But there's a lot of players. There's a lot of players on this slate. A lot of players to choose from. A lot of good players on this slate. A lot of top-end pitching on this slate. A lot of
some bad players as well.
Some really bad players on this slate as well. So we got a lot to get to. We got a lot to get into as well. Tarik Skubal is your highest priced starting pitcher today. $11,600. If you were worried if that was going to be a deterrent for people, it wasn't. He's 40% rostered on this. 14 games, $11,600, 40% of the field saying, "Yep, that's my dude." Home versus the Angels. Yep. How do you feel about that?
Is there anything? Am I supposed to feel any way other than? I think that there's a couple things at play here. One, he's the best pitcher in the game. Two, he is facing the team that strikes out more than any other team in the game against the handedness of which he throws, right? Yep. And three, he's 50% owned on a 14-game slate. And four, he's 11-6. Like, there's two really good and two really bad in there. The price is really not great and conducive to, like, the rest of your builds. The ownership is obviously insane because you need a baseline of 30 fantasy points to like win a tournament with Tarik Skubal. And I'll get to, I'll get there.
Sure.
Baseline of 30 to like get the return on investment. But I think he's worth it. So I guess, the best pitcher in the game against a team that strikes out 30% of the time, or 27% of the time, more than anyone else. So it's hard to fault people for going there. Obviously, there's some really good pitchers below him that I think make your life a lot easier to get to.
Sure.
But if you end up getting Tarik Skubal, no one's going to call you stupid. No one's going to hate you. No one's going to be like, wow, what are you doing, dude? It's like, well,
DraftKings obviously has some zero salaries here for him. I don't know if this is because they were non-main slate pricing or not here. But the 11.6 is the cheapest he's been since June.
Yeah, it's just the price in general. Like, that's a lot to pay for a pitcher. Period. Like, just Tarik Skubal or not. Like, that's it's like paying $13K. When I was asking him to play in basketball to play Jokic at $13K, like, it makes you at least think about it. It
does. When we discussed other options on the preview show, obviously Brandon Woodruff and Hunter Brown were up over $10,000 here as well. But we also highlighted the Christopher Sanchez spot here, coming off 8 shutout against against Detroit in that last start for him. We've highlighted Texas' struggles overall against left-handed pitching here. Max Fried had the rough second inning, but was largely dominant in that start once he kind of shook that one off. The last 30 days, left-handed pitching, the last 30 days against left-handed pitching, it is the Rangers with the highest strikeout rate, nearly 30%, 291 WOBA, 236 average here. He's getting the second highest ownership at this position. My guess is he's just sort of the pivot down for those who aren't playing Skubal. They're just going to Christopher Sanchez and saving the $2,000. How are you feeling about Sanchez here?
It's exactly, these are the best. Skubal and Sanchez are my 1 and 2. Even when you expand the Rangers to like season long numbers, it's all bad. I mean, they're 25th in OPS and WRC plus, they're 28th in WOBA, they're 23rd in ISO, and they have a 25% strikeout rate. So like either like small sample or big sample, right? It's just bad. Like they're just bad. Sanchez has thrown 6 innings or more in every start since June 3rd, which is 11 start span. He's only allowed more than 2 earned runs once over those 11 starts. And in 22 starts, he's only allowed more than 2 earned runs 3 times. 3 times in 22 starts, he's allowed more than 2. Dude, like, that's not an all-star. Like, are we serious?
You had to get Jacob Mizorowski in there for the story. Yes, Sanchez for me, again, if you're not looking to spend that money, you could also, you could probably figure out a way to play them both, but you'd really have to go bargain hunting there, which there are plenty of values. We'll talk about them when we get to the hitter spot. Nick Pivetta, somebody that I said repeatedly during the show, I just feel like has a good game here with Boston on the road in this spot. He is also getting some ownership love. The rest of the 10K tier, Hunter Brown's 15%. So he is kind of in that mid-range. 18% of the field is going to Zach Gallen today against Colorado. You highlighted the last time they faced the Rockies, Gallen did. He got lit up. So I guess we maybe hope for that. But what's your thoughts sort of, I guess, in the rest of the mid-range? Because, there's not really a lot of ownership going to the rest of this group. Tanner Bybee is someone we highlighted. He's getting a little bit of love, but that's kind of it.
Okay, I have a few things to say. One, I want to circle back to the Gallen point, but it wasn't even the last start. There's been 2 bad starts in a row for Zach Gallen against Colorado. One was on the road, one was at home. 2, I know you mentioned Brown. I actually want to go to Brandon Woodruff and talk about him for a second because he gets the Mets, and the Mets haven't gotten as much scrutiny as like the Yankees have. And I'm not saying the Yankees are not deserving of it because it's been an abomination, but the Mets have also been pretty terrible of late. And the numbers kind of bear it out. Since July 1st, they're bottom 10 against right-handed pitching in OPS, ISO, WOBA, and WRC+. They still only strike out 22% of the time, but that's actually higher than it's kind of been for most of this year. And we've seen Brandon Woodruff basically just come back looking like the best version of Brandon Woodruff, right? Like, he hasn't missed a beat for a guy who hasn't pitched in 2 years. Like, he hasn't, it's almost unfathomable how good he's been considering how long he's missed. And he's missing bats, and he's not walking anybody, and he's not giving up any earned runs, and he's being efficient, and he's pitching 4 quality starts in 5 outings. Like, and the one, he's like, I'm only going to go 4 1/3, but I'll strike out 10. Like, he's been amazing. So I think there's some merit to getting to Woodruff if you're just looking for, an MME guy. I think Woodruff is the play. If
plenty of leverage here, 4% roster right now. So
yep, plenty of leverage on Woodruff. Pivetta is definitely fine. We'll see how Boston is on the road. And obviously, we think there's a pretty good amount of win equity with Pivetta here, with Walker Buehler opposing him. I don't really have any interest in Joe Ryan, Senga. I saw we had a comment about Matthew Boyd earlier.
Yeah.
I am very on the fence with Matthew Boyd because you highlighted it last night about how good the Cardinals have been over the last
number month. 1 in batting average. Number 3 in WOBA. It's
also the smallest sample in the league. They have the fewest at bats. They only have 175 at bats over that span. So it's hard for me to completely buy in to how good the Cardinals have been, just given they have the smallest sample against this split. And you look at them for the whole season, they're just very mid. They're 14th and 15th in basically every category across the board against lefties. So I more so lean on the Boyd side than I do against him. So, he's dominated the Cardinals twice this year already. I definitely have some interest in Boyd. Not going Merrill Kelly. I've soured a little bit on Seth Lugo, like we talked about last night. I think Minnesota's offense has actually looked surprisingly good against righties for, who's not there and who's on the IL. But Edward Cabrera is definitely someone I think we need to look at. The Braves, we've said it a lot. Like they had a little bit of an explosion against Yuri Perez last night. It was 1 inning. Yuri Perez, 2 innings. Yuri Perez, he gave up the 2 home runs early, shut him down for 4 innings. They did absolutely nothing. And then obviously, Drake Baldwin did what he did, and that was that. But like, dude, Edward Cabrera has been such a model of consistency, and he's just facing such another like middle of the pack, slightly worse than average offense. That strikes out a lot. 24% since over the last month against right-handed pitching. They're 18th in OPS, so again, like less than average. And Edward Cabrera, all but 1 start in his last like 3. No, it's like 13 starts. Yeah. He's failed to reach 5 strikeouts once. I mean, that's just such a good baseline, right? For an $8,200 pitcher. We're not talking about like Tarek Skubal strikes out 5 or more. No. We're talking about a guy who's $4,000 or $3,000 less than Tarek Skubal at 5+ strikeouts that you could just pencil in every night with, in the stretch, 10 as a ceiling, right? So there's like a super high ceiling. The Marlins offense has been awesome against right-handed pitching. They're top 5 in every offensive.
Bryce Elder on the mound here,
and they face right. Yeah, there's good win equity for Edward Cabrera here. I really, really like the $8,200 price tag.
And with everybody playing Skubal today, he's another guy like well under 10% that you're just not getting to today in most builds unless you're going a bit more like Sanchez Cabrera or something like that. You're just not finding that, which is why I think Tanner Bybee is getting the ownership. And we kind of highlighted on the show, and you're like, oh man, like ownership's going to be here. It's a White Sox matchup. It's Tanner Bybee, who has some name value. We do think that he's a better pitcher than we've seen this year for a period of time. The peripheral numbers also kind of bared that out. I don't know where they're at currently, but
I got him. I got him.
Let's see.
4.51 ERA. He has a 3.66 expected ERA, 4.09 FIP, 4.04 SIERA. Like about a half a run better of a pitcher, right? He's should probably be hovering around a 4 ERA or expected ERA is 3.6. So still like a top half of your rotation starter that hasn't had that success this year. I think it's a good spot. It's a good spot. If you don't feel comfortable going Bybee on a 14-game slate, I can't blame anybody, right? You can't. But I would rather play Tanner Bybee than Zach Gallen. I'll tell you that right now.
Sure.
I'll tell you right now. I'd rather play Tanner Bybee than Zach Gallen.
You're getting him for around the same ownership, so there's your pivot off of that. Any other value? Our guy he threw you. I don't know if he's trolling us or not. He mentioned Jake Irvin. I get it. Like we've highlighted the struggles of the Giants offense here. But Jake Irvin's also not good. Giants still have a 160 ISO over the last 30 days, which is like not terrible, right? Like I don't want anything to do with Jake Irvin here.
If you actually look at the Giants numbers since the All-Star break against right-handed pitching specifically, they are actually top 5 in like most of those categories, which doesn't seem likely. But they also do have a bunch of guys that hit righties. Willy Adames, history against righties. Rafael Devers, history against righties. Like it's a pretty good. Heliot Ramos has been good since the break. He doesn't hit home runs anymore, but he's been good. Like, so yeah, I'm not in on Jake Irvin. That's not something that I am personally going to play. I think that is definitely something I'm going to stay away from. I think Luis Castillo is a little bit interesting. We know how good he's been at home versus how he's been on the road. Tampa Bay's offense has been quite bad since, over the last month. They're bottom 10 in most offensive categories with a 23% strikeout rate. So
get him at home again, the spot where he just dominates.
It's just what we have come to expect with Luis Castillo. He is not a great pitcher away from Seattle, and he loves home cooking, right? It's just what Luis Castillo has done since being traded from a bad ballpark that he was able to pitch in. Now he can only pitch in a good ballpark. But I digress. So I like Castillo. Bybee is good. I don't think Aaron Savale is going to continue to pitch the way he has in terms of like scoreless innings. I mean, we're talking about Aaron Savale in a 17 and a third inning streak, scoreless streak. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but he is 7,100, and this has become the better split to attack the Guardians with. They've figured out how to hit lefties, mainly because David Fry and players actually are hitting, but they're 25th or worse in OPS, WOBA, and WRC plus since July 1st. So I do think Savale is at least a little bit interesting here.
All right. Yeah, I mean, listen, we talked about that a little bit. I was looking at just some player props quickly here. Going back to kind of the Hunter Brown spot, what do you make? He's basically minus 110 to go over 17 and a half outs, minus 120 to go under. Think he gets through 6 innings today against the Yankees?
I think there's a lot of outcomes. Hunter Brown has obviously started the year as possibly the best pitcher in the game because the first 10 starts he allowed like 5 earned runs. Then he hit a little skid, a couple roadblocks, has definitely struggled a little bit more lately. Had a really good bounce back his last time out against Boston. Still lost the game, or at least his team did. The Yankees, for as, again, up and down things can be, and mostly down, it's not because their offense rates poorly. They're still first in home runs. They're still top 5 in basically every category. So it's a wide range of outcomes. I think he is a great pitcher that has a super high ceiling and also could run into the Yankees, who have the best player on the planet. Yeah. So
I just think it's interesting. You got a 10K pitcher getting, 16% ownership, and there's, basically even money that he may not get 6 innings, and you kind of.
I wonder if that's because the field's perception of the Yankees is like they're doing nothing right.
Yeah, and they're back home. Maybe they're back home and they have Judge. So
yeah, and Judge finally got a hit. The final, the last game he played before the day off, he had a hit. So it's like, okay, the elbow's clearly feeling okay. We're back in the line. I don't know. It's fine. He's a really good pitcher who can put up a big number.
Sure. Anything else here? Did you mention Ginn? We had a comment in chat about JT.
No, I didn't mention him. I mean, the Orioles are right around the top 10 since the All-Star break, and mostly every offensive category against righties. Obviously, they traded Laureano and O'Hearn. Those are 2 intricate pieces, and Urias, 3 pieces that played every day for them. Yeah. Ginn's finally stretched out where he throws 85 pitches and he can't throw strikes. The Orioles don't really walk a lot. So what is the give and take there? Ginn throws so many pitches out of the zone that Orioles are fine, I guess I have to walk.
Yeah, you hope Kobe Mayo chases a lot more. And,
so it's a tournament play at best. It's not my favorite spot. It's not the worst spot in the world. It's fine.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right. Catcher. Again, big slate here. Believe it or not, your highest roster catcher is a $2,000 Jose Herrera. Got a thought?
It's a punt to get
people needing value to play.
It's a punt to get Skubal, and that's a bet against Austin Gomber.
Right, that's three hits.
That's just it. That's literally somebody being like, okay, I need to get Skubal. That might even be the Skubal Sanchez route, right? Just somebody double spending up and needing to get something of just pure punt.
Yeah.
Nothing better than the 2K catcher against a crap pitcher. So
if you're not going to him, Shea Langeliers is actually your other guy, someone that I obviously was just skipping yesterday because we got Skubal, we got to find value. But as you've highlighted, best leadoff hitter of all time. I don't know, to be debated.
Do you know who the team with the best ISO is in baseball since July 1st or over the last month against righties is?
Is it the Athletics?
Trick question. No, it's the Athletics. It's not a trick question.
He's sitting 4th, by the way, today. He's not even leading off.
So. Yeah, I know. I know. Well, they want him to stay the best leadoff hitter of all time, so they moved him. Yeah, I think this is this is not something that we need to overthink, right?
Yeah.
Sugano allows a lot of home runs, a boatload.
We have said that. Somebody on that team will homer today.
Boatload. Shea Langeliers hits a lot of home runs. Has hit a lot of them since the All-Star break. Like an uncomfortable amount for a catcher. Like catchers not named Cal Raleigh hitting this many home runs in a short period of time is uncomfortable.
This is what we did last night, Warren. We locked in Patrick Bailey, but
it's a great spot. It's I mean, it's a good spot. But yes, Langeliers. And also you could just play Bailey and not play Herrera. That's what I would rather do, for the record.
I mean, again, this is where we went last night. He's a better, I mean, they both don't have great numbers, but like Bailey has, I think, a longer track record of being a relatively competent hitter, and we're starting to see it. So, I
mean, that's good. Those are good numbers. Not the 213, but like the recent numbers. Recent numbers. I'm going to look. I think that, and this has been something we've been actually talking about for like a little while now, that he's been like kind of figuring out. Dude, since the All-Star break, 255 batting average. Sew it up. That's it. He's $2,100. Like, yeah, I'll celebrate a 255 batting average for a guy hitting 213.
Yeah, I'd rather go there than Herrera if I had to choose. Other guys that are getting some ownership love at the position here today. Augustin Ramirez, as we assumed, and Natalie Rutschman. Those are two guys we talked about. Ryan Jeffers is as well. Now, again, on the morning show, you were kind of in on Lugo. You said, obviously, here at the live stream, you've soured a bit more in on Minnesota. Would that put you on Jeffers, though, today?
I don't know if it's okay. I think Minnesota just as a whole has been a pretty good offense. Like, over the last month since July 1st, they're literally in the top 10 in every offensive category against righties, which is surprising because, you know, they traded Correa. Been without Buxton. They didn't have Keyshaw until the last two games. Like, Jeffers was on, I think, had a baby, and his wife had a baby, or significant other had a baby, like in the middle of so they've been without literally key piece after key piece, and they still rank, you know, out pretty well. So yeah, I don't be okay with Jeffers. The lefties look a little better, but there are expected stuff for righties that look pretty good as well. So yep. I like Jeffers. I don't hate the Rutschman shout. You know, you could definitely play Drake Baldwin if you're not playing Odor Cabrera. Drake Baldwin, you know, very good at baseball.
Travis said stack them Jays earlier in the show. Kershaw ain't nothing, he says.
Oh, well, I mean, okay. We can just quickly unpack that comment.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. It's not true. We'll pack that back right up because he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So the 2025 version is not as good, but he was an All-Star. But I don't disagree on like the overall point that Alejandro Kirk being $3,200 is just criminal. It's just DJ 305. Like he's just so good. I mean, it's
Yep, I agree. Anything else at catcher for you?
Anything else at catcher?
Bo Naylor getting a little love.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's fine, right? He's not hitting fifth anymore. I don't think there needs to be anything else. We have the Bailey. We have Fermin, our boy Fermin, 2,700.
Okay.
If he's in the lineup, I don't think we've gotten the Pods lineup yet. At least upon last glance, let's see. We gotten any lineups? Mariners lineups, Brewers lineup. No, we still haven't gotten the Padres. So once we get the Padres lineup, if Fermin's in it, I think that's a direction we could definitely go.
All right. First base, Shohei, again, dual position eligibility, $6,600. He is your highest roster play here. Couple of value plays, Tyler Locklear, Cody Clemens from an ownership perspective. But if we're looking to spend up at the spot, do you like any of these 5K and over guys?
Yeah, I mean, Ohtani, Kurtz, Vladdy, Bryce, Devers. All of them. Maybe not Alonso because I think Woodruff is like super good and has been pretty dominant. But obviously Alonso's come alive since the calendar turned to August. Ohtani and Kurtz are I think 1 and 2 for me. I actually really like Devers against Jake Irvin, but that's not a surprise because we like the lefties. And Vladdy, you know, Vladdy's just been, dude, sometimes subtle changes, I feel like flip a whole like the player season. When Vladdy moved to the 3-hole, his whole season changed. Like run production, and he's driving the ball, and like, oh, he's hitting 300 and almost has a 900 OPS. When the hell did that happen, right? Because that hasn't been the case in a while. Well, he's hitting everything, and I know like he's coming off cores, but like you look through it, it's like it's not just cores. He's been raking for since July, and so I think any of the top 3 plus Devers would probably be the 4 that I prioritize. I'm all in on the Athletics today because I think there's so many home runs in that offense, like so many home runs. They're expensive, but there's so many home runs in that offense. So if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Kurtz, but I think the top 3 plus Devers would be the 4 I'd gravitate to the most.
Okay. Anything else here in this mid-range? Speaking of Naylor for a second here, did you see the stat that not even Ichiro has had like a 10-game span with as many stolen bases as Naylor has with Seattle?
No, that's
Ichiro never had a 10-game span in which he had as many stolen bases of which Josh Naylor has in 10 games with Seattle.
Dude, imagine telling someone like you put their names, you just put them next to each other and be like, what can both these players do really well?
And you'd say one is a prolific stolen base guy.
Yeah. Like, holy cow. I mean, he is out tonight officially. They just dropped the lineup. He's not playing. But that is criminal. Freeman, 4,800. Love the lefty power against Scherzer. Love righty power against Kyle Hendricks. Spencer Torkelson hitting 4th. Little lineup shift there. Riley Green moved down to the 6th hole with Torque hitting 4th. I really like that. Detroit is. I feel like what's his name over there? Why am I blanking? What's the Hinch? Is like so. Like, I'm like, yes, dude, thank you for being analytically driven. Like, thank you for like looking at stuff. Like, Kyle Hendricks struggles against righties. Move Spencer Torkelson up in the lineup. Like, Wow, it's crazy. 4,500 looks good. If you want to play O'Hearn, he looks good against Buehler. We talked about it last night. Average for lefties, power for righties, so you could play him. Wilson Contreras looks pretty good against Boyd if you're playing the other side of that game. Schlittler has allowed home runs. That's been the one bugaboo he's had so far. Christian Walker is hitting home runs right now. 3 home runs in his last 6 games. A lot of multi-hit games as well. So I like Christian Walker. Cody Clemens, 3,700 hitting 4th. Andrew Vaughn hitting 5th against Kodai Senga, who's pitching worse than he has all year. Big ups to Lennon Sosa and whatever power surge he's in the middle of. I mean, he has been pretty legit. I was just looking, just a little sneak peek at the Fantasy Baseball Waiver Wire article this year. I was just looking at Lennon Sosa, and since 2022, he hit a 500 slug in every year in the minor leagues leading up to last year in the majors. Just goes to show you, like, sometimes there's data to leads to like Lennon Sosa randomly hitting for power, but 3,300 hitting 2nd. The White Sox will be super contrarian, obviously, because everyone's playing Bibee. So I like Sosa at 33. Jake Berger's back. He's hitting 7th. I don't really want to play it, but just, giving more of a mention. And you mentioned Locklear. I mean, dude,
Locklear's getting the ownership.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been good since those first 2 games. And in the minor leagues, he hit for home runs and he stole bases. And he's done at least one of those things in his last 4 games. So I like it. I like the punt. It makes it easier to get to some of the spend ups. I like the value that Lock. And he hits, again, another lineup. He's hitting 5th. I mean, a $2,600 5-hitter in a good split against a bad pitcher. It's a lot to like, dude. There's a lot to like there.
Yeah. Let's see here. Second base. Up the top from an ownership perspective, obviously Marte from a pricing standpoint, he is also your highest rostered play for the day. Kind of interesting to see a couple of 6K guys, high ownership, while also a 40% rostered Scooble.
Well, if you're Arizona is just getting all the ownership.
Yeah.
You have the punt catcher and then punt first base, right? So
you can fit in a Marte in that stack.
Yeah, and then your one spend up is Marte, or if you're not going Scooble and you're going Sanchez, you could probably play Marte and Ohtani. So there's like multiple routes you can take. I think Arizona looks great. You know, they actually don't rate out as well against lefties as they did earlier in the season. But Marte is historically great against them. Absolutely no issues going there. And honestly, no issues really on anyone 5K and up. I'd probably rank them how they're priced. But I think there's a case to be made for all of them.
Okay. Trying to see, where do you want to go next? I mean,
Labor.
Labor. Okay.
Yeah, he's been on a little power surge, and we've talked about Hendricks all year with the righties. It's been the one thing.
I would say him or Xavier Edwards leading off at 42.
Yeah, of course. That guy is a monster. Not going to hit a home run. He will not. Honestly
might steal 2 bags,
but might steal 2 bags, or just might mess around and have 5-hit game. Like there's a lot of layers to Edwards' game outside the home run. He's good. He's just a very good baseball player.
Kind of a swish of ownership there with Edwards and Gleiber, but you also have Schneemann, Cody Clemens, and Brooks Lee all sitting there in that like 6% range as well as you look for some value plays here.
Yeah, all three because the multi-position eligibility. Clemens, you can play first, second. Brooks Lee, you can play second short, and Schneemann, you can play second outfield. So you can play any of them. They're all hitting in the top part of their lineup except Brooks Lee, who is, again, lefties have actually been good against Seth Lugo. We've seen a couple big power games out of Brooks Lee lately. I would prefer to play Luke Keyshaw. I don't understand. You know, I think Luke Keyshaw is a dog. And
getting no ownership, 4%.
So that's better for us because why would we not be playing Luke Keyshaw? He hits righties, he hits lefties, he steals bags. He's going to hit. He's actually, you know, we talked about his power. Hit for a little power senior year, hit for a little power in the minors in 24. Power's coming around, I think, for Luke Keyshaw. I think we're going to get a few more home runs than maybe anticipated. He's been awesome. And again, with a righty on the mound, especially a righty that throws all the junk that Seth Lugo throws. Like if he gets on, he's stealing a bag. Like we can put that in the bank. So yeah, it's a good value position. Not to be overlooked. Jorge Polanco hitting 4th tonight with Naylor out of the lineup. He's been a dog, especially like in the power/run production category. So yeah, I think second base has a ton of really interesting value plays for sure.
Okay. Third base position. Again, Jose Ramirez is your top price third baseman. Not where the ownership is, actually. The top 4 guys, ownership-wise, are not even over $4,000. So talk to me about the 5K tier, Grande, which nobody's playing today.
Yeah, I mean, you can always play Jose Ramirez. It's obviously a contrarian 6K play, but he's, amazing. Love Manny Machado against Buehler. We could say it and say it and say it and say it. Righties against Walker Buehler is a power haven. 2.5 home runs or 2.4 home runs per 9 innings against Walker Buehler. It has been the sweet spot all year long. He has struggled with that specific split when it comes to power. So I love Machado, who has over a 200 expected ISO against righties. Caminero has been absolutely dominant against right-handed pitching himself this year. That's been his sweet spot. So, between Ramirez, Machado, Caminero, I don't think you can go wrong. And especially if they're all low-owned, like it's all solid.
Yep. When we do get to where the ownership is, like I said, it's all under 4K. Royce Lewis, Colt Keith, Dog Clement, and Carlos Correa are the ownership plays for today.
Yeah, it's a good one, dude. $3,900 for Correa hitting fourth. Earn dog
Muncie as
million.
well, by the way. Sorry, Muncie's in that group.
Yeah, Muncie sub 4K. We've talked about the power from the left side against Max Scherzer. That's been his main problem, and Max Muncie has a lot of it. Again, I'd love to see who has more multi-hit games than him since like he started playing every day. I'd love to know that. Colson Montgomery at 4K is interesting. Earn Dog Millionaire has just absolutely raked against lefties all year long. Hasn't stopped. Just keeps hitting. Cole Keith leading off, $3,400 looks great. Darrell Hernandez has been really good lately, hitting sixth. Again, Sugano pitching. It's a great spot. Blaze Alexander, $2,800 playing every day.
Blaze is your highest rostered third baseman. Again, you were commenting just stacking versus Comber here. $2,800. Another way to get Ketel Marte in your lineup: your catcher, your first baseman, your third baseman, or shortstop, no, third base, whatever, are under 3K. So,
yep. Everyone's just jamming Diamondbacks in.
Yep. Shortstop. Up at the top, Bobby Witt, CJ Abrams, Trey Turner, Francisco Lindor, Gunnar Henderson, Bo Bichette, Zach Neto up over 5K. Obviously not going to play Neto versus Skubal, but you got a favorite of the rest of that tier?
They're all, you can play them. I don't think there's anyone specifically that I'm like entirely interested in. Probably Gunner is probably the top play against JT Ginn. I like Bo Bichette, especially if they keep hitting him fourth behind Vladdy. Another guy, 303 on the year now with an 820 OPS. Like, bro, 16 home runs. Didn't hit a home run for the first month of the year.
Goes to Colorado, hits 7, So
yeah, it's just doesn't stop homering. So it would probably be above 5K Gunner and Bichette for me, but Abrams going up against an opener engage, and then they're going to Tang for the long relief. Turner is good. Lindor has a tough matchup. Bobby Witt has a tough matchup, but he's Bobby Witt. So it's probably Gunner and Bichette for me at the top.
Mid-range, where you're looking to go. Perdomo is your highest roster play today.
What?
I know, surprising.
Like another Diamondback?
Shocker.
Yeah, he's hitting third against a lefty. It definitely can get there. Willie Adames loves righties. Definitely can play him. Dude, Xander Bogaerts, Xander Bogaerts is going to end up having like a pretty good year, pretty good bounce back year. Home runs in back-to-back games for Xander, up to 17 steals. I saw today that he's 17 for 18 in stolen base attempts as well, which is very good. We've talked about the righties against Walker Buehler as well. He's slowly coming around after what's been largely a disappointing stint in San Diego. But this year has been starting to look much better than it's been. He was
just too old to get that contract. And now people are like...
For sure. But you know what? Apparently, we got spring chicken legs because we got 17 steals on 18 attempts this year. We're feeling good. Home runs and back-to-back. We're driving the ball now. I think there's a lot to like about San Diego, baseline of San Diego tonight, and Bogaerts is included in that. Jeremy Pena sub 4K is kind of criminal for the player that he's been all year. That doesn't make any sense. Otto Lopez is fine. Very unlucky player this year. Ezekiel Tovar gets Zach Gallen. We know how bad Zach Gallen is.
Tovar price always just confuses us. So.
Always. And then you can play Hernandez here, who I think is, or Brooksley. I think both are solid values.
All right. Outfield again. 150 of these guys active for tonight. From an ownership, you have Ohtani, obviously. And that's all Diamondbacks pretty much from there. So including Jorge Barrosa, getting up over 10% tonight, $2,100 from
there.
Okay. Talk to me. Where do we want to spend up at outfield today?
Ohtani's great. I think Kyle Tucker looks really good. The lefties against McGreevy look very good. Soto, no. Stowers looks amazing at 56. Tatis looks great at 55. You could play James Wood if he ever breaks out of it. PCA at 55 looks very good. Rooker hits a home run tonight, 54 against Sugano. Riley Green hitting 6th. Don't love the lineup spot for a $5,100 player, but obviously, like, he hasn't hit, so that's been the primary reason as to why. But this is a spot to hit in. That's probably it for the 5K range. You could obviously play Randy or Julio. They've been amazing, and they're doing something big every day. Like, they either hit a home run or steal a base every day.
Again, you have in the 4K tier, Lourdes is getting ownership. Quan is actually getting some love today as well. I like all of it, the Athletics. So whether it's Butler, Rooker, you can get there. Carlos Cortez is $2,500 leading off for them today.
Leading off.
He is getting a little love. That's your value play. What else do you think in the outfield today?
Yeah, Soderstrom there too, 4,300, hitting 5th. We had a Blue Jays question. Papa J, Varsho or Lucas.
Both of them are lefties versus Kershaw, though.
They played Lucas against a lefty on whatever day there's Wednesday, and they did not play Varsho because they played Schneider. They led Schneider off, so I assume that's what they'd go back to. So I'll default and say Lucas because I think he's probably in the lineup again. Rest of the 4K tier, Jackson Merrill 46. You mentioned Gurriel, Soderstrom. Luis Robert continues to just be an absolute maniac of a human being. I would absolutely just play Luis Robert. Again, like, Tanner Bibee's popular. On a 14-game slate, way to leverage the field is playing bats against a popular pitcher, especially when one who has been very shaky. All you need Luis Robert to do is get on once, right? Single, stolen base, run scored, boom, 10 fantasy points. And then everything else is gravy from there, especially if we're getting, he's going to get hitting 4th tonight, like, great run production opportunities there. Like him, like Sal Frelick leading off. He's been really good when he's been in the lineup. You could play Roman, obviously. Stephen Kwan, O'Hearn you could play here. We talked about him at first. Ian Happ is hitting again, and he's back up to hitting 4th. Yep, they're shifting the lineup. They have been shifting the lineup a lot lately, but Ian Happ has been better of late, so moving back up to the 4 hole, that makes a lot of sense.
Moniak, 38 versus Gallen. Again, he's a good player, yes. And coming around there.
Yes.
Carpenter's 38. Let's see. Isaac Collins sitting 3rd. Wallner's getting some ownership love. He's 35.
Yeah, lefties against Seth Lugo is a real thing.
Let's see. Perkins is 32.
Yep, Perkins. Schneemann, you can play here.
Schneemann's actually the highest roster outfielder. Dual position eligibility. Yeah, everybody's all in on this dude tonight.
It gets the dual position. The Guardians getting a lot of ownership against Savali. Everyone thinks Savali regression is coming. I can't say I fault anyone for that. Davis Schneider probably leads off here. Has had 8 RBIs in his last 3 games.
Good numbers versus lefties
one of the home runs. Yeah, good numbers. Really, really good numbers against lefties. Probably leads off.
We talking Marcy hitting 6th again?
Dude, he's been so good. Multiple 40 stolen base seasons at the minor league level, too. Like, just super fast dude. Gets on. He's going to steal.
Let's see what his stolen base prop is for tonight. Let's see. Stolen bases over under. We are looking at. Where's the Braves? There it is. He is plus 220 for a stolen base. Edward is plus 180. So.
Ooh. They're giving the leadoff hitter the little bit of the nod there. Marcy had in 23, he had 46 steals in 129 games, and then in 24, he had 51 and 137. And this year in AAA, he had 47 steals in 98 games. He was stealing a base in half his games.
I just bet him to steal the base. So,
well, it's as long as there's no one in front of him. Lefties have absolutely crushed Bryce Elder too. So it's definitely a good feeling. He doesn't miss any of their bats. He has an 8% swinging strike rate and 196 ISO, 353 WOBA, 405 expected WOBA as well. Yeah, I mean, I
betting us on the
it.
base for a 6 hitter
like
usually not great, but plus 220 is pretty low odds. So
for a guy who steals a criminal amount of bases.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Cortez leading off 2,500.
He's there.
I mean, he's
all right.
He's
So there's
fine.
plenty of ways to get to Tarek Skubal. So I guess my question to you is: are we getting to Tarek Skubal today?
Yeah, let's play Skubal. Anthony, I agree. I think Philly is okay. I probably don't stack them. Merrill Kelly's been amazing this year, but I'm never gonna fault you for playing Kyle Schwarber. He's incredible.
Might be getting more ownership than Gallon. Let's see. Earlier it was Gallon.
No, Gallon more. Gallon's 5% more.
Recent update: Gallon is now your second highest rostered starting pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, it's oh boy, it's dude.
I'll let the field play him. That's fine. You know what? I'll let it happen.
Yep. I think there's and we've talked about this a lot when it comes to Zach Gallen. He has those random starts where he you think that he's breaking out of it, right? You're like, oh, it's Zach Gallen's back, and then you're like, no, he's not.
I mean, there's enough value to make this work today.
Keyshaw, Marcy, we have no correlation whatsoever. But yeah, because we're gonna play some athletics here. Can you play some?
Marcy, right? $4,500 a play now. Come on.
If you went Kurtz, yeah, I was gonna say Kurtz Soderstrom or Kurtz Rooker, just to make it.
$3,300. There's still value that can be played at these. Blaze Alexander, right?
There are.
Can make that work. We'll put the full lineup in the Discord for you guys, but we'll leave 2 spots for you guys to guess where we want to go with this. If this is the direction you want to go, that's our 2 favorite top pitchers today: Skubal, Sanchez. So, do we trust Boyd versus Cards? I know Anthony asked this question. We did answer it a little earlier.
Sorry, Anthony.
We're indifferent. It's Cards have been a little bit better, but Boyd's been really good. So it's an average play. Schwarber or Arozarena? Yes.
Schwartz.
We're absolutely Muncy. We're good on Muncy. He said he doesn't feel like anybody's playing the Dodgers today as well.
Well, everyone's playing Shohei. No one's really playing other Dodgers.
All right, guys. Again, full lineup will be in that Discord. Make sure you check it out. Fantasy.com. 7-day free trial going on, and we can get you guys hooked up with that as well. Appreciate you all tuning in. We'll be back Sunday night with the preview show for Monday.